Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Flea Market Finds, and this is stuff I picked on June 15th, Father's Day of this year, and got quite a few nice tools here and a couple other little oddities, so let's readjust the camera angle and dive right in. Alright, the first buy of the morning, I put together this lot right here for 50 bucks, and which includes the Starrett number 815 hammer. Okay, this is an unusual hammer, as you can see. It has a magnifying glass built into it. And this is a center punching hammer, and the idea would be that you would use the magnifying glass to actually make sure that your point of your center punch was directly over your layout lines, and once it was in position you could just flip it and tap the center punch. So these were actually so popular at one point that they started reproducing them aftermarket. I think you can still find a cheap Asian import of these. I don't think Starrett still has this in their catalog. They might, but these are actually, they bring pretty decent money, especially considering there's not much to them. So I snagged that. I haven't had one of these in a while. And then he also had this kind of mess of various blades and stuff here, and then looked at him and realized this is a Starrett square on a 24-inch blade. The 24-inch blades, the 18-inch blades and the 24-inch blades are harder to come by, so they tend to bring more money. The 12 inches, obviously, 12-inch combination square is pretty common. So he had not one, but two of the 24-inch blades and one of the 18-inch blades. And then he also had not one, but two of these genuine Starrett 24-inch scales, rulers, or as machinists tend to call them, scales. What's kind of neat about these is that they are graduated in 64ths of an inch. So they're not mint by far. You can see there's some fading on some of the numbers there, but if I can get this to focus, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get this to focus, but a lot of tiny graduation lines is what we'd be looking at if you could see it. I scored this little tiny puller from a guy for $1. I'm thinking it's for clock or watch hands. No maker's name on it. From one of my regulars, I bought this for $5. That's exactly what we had on it for a price, and I figured, well, for $5 I'll take a chance on it. So it's got the original leather holster, okay, and it's missing a couple of rivets here. That rivets are up, ready to fall out. That one already did. But what caught my eye about it was that it's clearly marked Klein Tools, K-L-E-I-N. Now, Klein Tools is a very well-known manufacturer of things for electricians, for the electrical trade. So, what the heck is an electrician going to do with this thing? It looks like it's seen a lot of service. The end of it's kind of mushroomed over. So it's apparently a punch. It's been whacked quite a few times with a hammer. It's clearly marked 3256. So I ventured a guess as to what this was, and I haven't looked it up yet. So if you want, pause the video and give me your guess in the comments, and then we'll see how we all did. My guess is that it's some sort of a lineman's tool, maybe to align like a bracket hole and a hole on a telephone pole or something like that, to help aid in getting the bolt started through. Well, it's called a broadhead bullpin. Bullpin. It's actually still in the Klein catalog on their website. It is for aligning holes because it says head design will reduce chance of pin slippage from the hand when aligning holes. Because you don't want to drop it when you're up there in a bucket, right? Or a ladder or whatever. Ah, interesting. So these flats right here aren't just for them to have a place to put the name and the model number. That's so you can put a wrench on here. It says below the head, squared off shoulders have been forged to provide a surface for applying wrench to loosen wedged bullpins. So if you wedge it into a hole, sometimes twisting it with a wrench will help you break it free. Long, even taper reduces binding and hang up. Heat treated for strength. and it's black finished for rust resistance, but this is a much earlier one, and somebody gave it a gold color. They're about 38 bucks in the Granger catalog. It's $26 on Amazon, but none of them come with this neat leather pouch. So yeah, that's kind of a neat score. Speaking of unusual, I guess that wasn't that unusual. It was some kind of a pin punch or punch. I got this thing for $2, and I couldn't pass it up for $2 just because it just was such a funky looking thing. So it's got these sharp blades that you can actually loosen this up and take these blades out, so you can stagger the blades in different locations, I guess. It appears like maybe it's even missing a blade there. So I don't know if you want to change the spacing of the blades maybe, or if maybe that's just to take them out to sharpen them. They almost look like teeth. So we got this thing here, it can move out of the way. There's two holes there for countersunk, two countersunk holes for screws, so that this could be screwed down to like a workbench, and then the heads would be flush with the surface. So one theory, somebody looked at this while I was at the show. One theory was that this is for slicing leather strap into leather laces. You would pull the leather through here across this blade and turn it into laces. I don't know. This is brass, this piece right here. So lots of times guys will look at my videos and recognize something and they'll comment. So if you do know what this is, please leave a comment. And again, got that for $2. Alright, now we get a bunch of items here I got for $5 a piece. This is a Roper No. 5 Junior Hand Punch from the Roper Whitney Company. So this is for punching holes in thin sheet metal. And I got it for $5 because it is missing one of the dies. So this pair right here is actually what's in there now. Then I saw a tool I've never seen before, so thought it was kind of neat. This is a clamp. I guess it would be like for maybe like a picture frame, or if you had 4 mitered corners that you wanted to join together, you would use this thing. So the way this works, it's called the Merle, M-E-R-L-E, adjustable clamp. Goes from 2 5/8 of an inch by 2 5/8 of an inch square, that's the minimum, to a maximum of 69 by 69 inches square. You can actually pull this open. So you just let out more of this material, this banding, all right? And then you get the gist of it here, right? You can spread these out, put each one on the corner. Once you've got it to the position you want, you lock this, okay? And then you clamp it closed with this. And then when you're done using it, you just use the crank crank it back in. So I've never seen one before, so I figured what the heck, for $5? Looks like on eBay used they're worth about $30. And then the last $5 item was actually these 2 pieces for $5. I actually was standing there when this guy was looking at these Mac pliers. These are grabbers, it says on it, by Mac Tools, SP700s. I think these are for pulling hoses off of barbed fittings. So I think they're a type of hose plier. But the guy, he wanted these for less than $5. And the guy said no, he wouldn't take less than $5 for him, and the guy put him down. So then I looked at him and I realized, well, I don't really have any of these, and occasionally I want to pull a hose off of something, and it might be a little easier to do it with this thing. So I said, but geez, I found these little Crescent brand, which is a nice brand, USA made, really needle nose pliers for electronic work. So I asked the guy if he'd take $5 for the two of them. Or I think I said, hey, I give you the $5 for this, for the pliers if you throw these in, and he didn't care. So I got those for $5. Next up, I got this nice Mitutoyo, made in Japan, metric dial indicator with the large face. Now the interesting thing is it actually says Mitutoyo in very small letters there. But the main part of it is badged Marco of Jacksonville, Florida. And the reason why is because when I saw this on the guy's table, it was actually on a microscope. So there was an interesting microscope. It was kind of in rough shape, laboratory grade by the looks of it, and it had some sort of mechanism so that you could very precisely move the table up and down. And that's why it had this indicator on it. And I think he wanted $20 for the microscope, and I was thinking to myself, nobody's going to want that, and I'm going to end up having the thing forever, like a lot of the stuff that I buy. So I told him, I said, well, I said really the only thing that's interesting to me is the indicator. And I said to him, just on the off chance that he might be interested, I said, I'll give you $10 for the indicator. And next thing you know, he's finding a screwdriver to take it off. So I got this neat metric Mitutoyo indicator for $10. I found this genuine Leatherman holster. It's empty, doesn't have the Leatherman in it, but it's actually in decent shape. Looks like maybe something was chewing on it over here, but that's okay. I might have a Leatherman that needs a home, and I got this for $2. And then I also got this horn for $2, which is kind of a neat looking horn. It's got two different horns. So it's a two-tone horn. I have no idea if it works. We're going to find out before this video is over. Oh, I almost forgot this. See this big plumb bob? I got this for $5, solid brass, kind of neat. But the best thing about it is it's marked clearly that this is a Starrett number 515. I don't think I've ever come across a Starrett plumb bob. This probably originally belonged in a case with a Starrett Transit, a surveyor's or builder's Transit. That's what I'm guessing. And then also for $2, I spotted this pair of scissors, and I thought, oh, well, you know, there was no price on it, but I was like, that's a nice leather holster. And then I looked at it, and I noticed that the holster says top grain cowhide, Solingen, Germany. And I've seen a lot of really fine swords and knives and things like that that came out of Solingen. That must be a huge industrial center for knife making or blade making. And so that's exactly what these are. They're a nice Solingen pair of scissors, and they are clean as a whistle, and they are nice and sharp, and they've got this nice original holster for $2. I thought that was a great deal. Saw a guy I know who watches the channel, and he had picked up this little gaggle of alligator clips. And he asked if it was something I could use, because he knows I work on electronics sometimes on my channel. And I said, sure, use them all the time. They tend to, the wire will break here near the edge, and that'll give you a bad connection, or you know, they get burned or whatever, or they just get damaged or worn out, or in my case, misplaced. So that was nice of him. Well, heck, let's go see if we can blow this horn. Let's see, my jump pack's a little low, but just for the heck of it, let's see. Trick is I got to find a good ground. See, there's only one connection here, so we know that that's the 12. That's the positive connection, and then they're using the case as the ground. Well, good thing I only spent $2 on it, because I think this horn is junk. Hadn't picked up a used CB in a while. So it's nice to come across this deal here for $10. It's a Chinese made, it's a later model Cobra 29. It's the one that's got the night stalker, whatever the heck it's called there, night watch and sound tracker features, and then the WX means it's a weather radio. So I don't remember what the night watch and what the sound tracker does, but got the original mic. Got a little bit of corrosion on the back here on the screws, which I find troubling, but who knows. It's interesting to me. The power cable is actually zip tied like it's never been used. It's almost like that somebody took a brand new one and stuck it on here. I don't know. But I believe the earlier ones that came out of like Malaysia and Indonesia were the better quality Cobras, if I'm not mistaken. Still worth taking a chance on it for $10.